Hey Relish friends, it's Donna-Marie. I promised you a recipe, so I'm here today and we're going to make a soup from scratch. My son Jack is behind the camera for me, so we're going to do this together, and hopefully this will be a real nice warming soup for you, full of great fiber and nutrition. It's a lemony lentil soup, so let's get started. All right, so I've got some of the key ingredients out here. We need a couple of onions, some garlic, some carrots, and of course I've got my trusty Relish vegetable peeler, so a lemon, some chicken stock that actually my girlfriend Jane made for me today. Shout out to my friend Jane, which we're going to put in this soup. You could do it with vegetable stock as well. It's just I happen to have some really delicious homemade bone broth chicken stock. And of course our lentils. And so we're going to get started with this right now. So first thing we want to do is we want to get our onions chopped. So remember, if you come to any of my classes, you'll remember I tell you don't remove the hairy end of the onion, only the stem end. So first thing we do is we're going to cut off the stem end of the onion. Then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to cut it in half again. Peel away the layer of first layers of the onion, including that papery skin. I have a garbage right beside me, so I'm tossing it in there. And then we're going to chop it up. So real time again, let's do this. So, okay, I've got my onion cut. Now we're going to go like this. We're going to make the first cuts in towards the back of the onion, but I'm not cutting off that, that end. And then I've got, so it sort of opens up like a little onion or like a little flower. And then we'll go straight across. And I'm going to do that with all the onions, the two onions that I've got here. So again, the cuts in towards the back and then across the top. This is my favorite knife, a new knife that came out from Wusthof earlier this year. This is the Nakiri knife. It's become my favorite, and you can tell I've got one at home. I like it so much working with it at the studio. Okay, there's one, almost two onions chopped. And, all right, so, woo, eyes getting a bit watery, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to get my pot started. I'm going to turn my heat on. I'm going to get my pot heated up. I do happen to have some Le Creuset. It's actually my daughter's. I bought it for her graduation, and I had to borrow it from her, so I've still got it here because I haven't been able to see her for a couple of weeks. So, all right, so I'm heating the pot up. So while that is being done, I'm going to move those away. We're going to do the garlic. So I'm just going to chop it up here really fine. Jack's doing a great job on the camera. Okay, and we'll chop that up nice and fine. All right, there's my garlic, ready to go. All right, so I'm going to get some oil in the pot. I'll put some oil in the pot. Here comes Jack with the camera. Okay, some oil in the bottom of the pot. A couple of tablespoons is probably ideal. And then I am going to add my onions first. So I'll bring my cutting board over here. I'm going to add my onions. So that makes it sizzle. I'm going to get the onions started. Awesome. I'm going to grab a spatula here. And we're going to get these onions, so we want them to cook for a couple of minutes just so that they can begin to soften. So while the onions are doing their thing, I'm going to come over here, coming back over to this side. We're going to peel the carrots. I've got one done, but I'm going to do the other one. And then we want to dice up the carrots. So I've got 2 carrots. All right, cut up the carrots. Take those two ends off again. And again, you always remember, I always tell you, make sure you always cut the carrots into manageable size portions. Do not try and cut that carrot in one big long cut. Okay, so I'm going to cut these carrots up, cutting them into just a nice sort of a dice. So the nice part about this lentil soup is that you can either have it chunkier or you can puree it. And if you have an immersion blender, or if you have a Vitamix type blender at home, then you can pour it into the blender and you can get a really sort of smooth soup out of it. So either way, slightly chunkier or smooth is just fine. Okay, carrots. I know I might be chopping quickly, but I know if you're not familiar with the knife quite as quickly, it just takes something, a little bit of practice. But anyways, okay, here we go. Soup, and the last cut on this one. All right, real time, there we go. So my carrots, or my onions, have cooked here. They're getting slightly browned up, so that's looking really good. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. I'm going to take some lentils. So these are the red lentils. These are the ones I like to use. The red lentils cook up really quickly. So I'm going to measure out about a cup's worth. I probably have about a cup right here in my jar, which of course I do. So that's perfect, but they do need a little bit of a rinse. So I'm just going to go over to the sink and I'm going to rinse them off. I've got my colander all ready to go, and I'm just giving them a rinse. Often lentils have a little bit of a dust on them, so you kind of want to rinse them off first. There we go. Okay. Perfect. They'll just sit for a second. All right, so I think my onions are cooked enough. I'm going to add my garlic in here now, and I'm also going to add the carrots in here as well too. Okay, so in go the carrots and the garlic, and we're just going to give that a nice little stir here. Turn my heat down a little bit because they're getting a little brown. I don't want to make sure I don't want to burn the garlic at all, because then it gets kind of bitter. So I'll just give that about a 30-second little cook or so. And then I'm going to add into this my lentils. Okay, so I'm going to add those lentils in there. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so the last thing we want to add in here are some seasonings and spices. So I'm going to add some oregano and some rosemary and a bay leaf. So I have my oregano here right now, and I'm going to add that in, but I don't have my bay leaf. I forgot to get my bay leaf. I have it in another cupboard. So I'm going to go grab that, or I'll get somebody else in my household to go grab that for me. The cup filled him coming back. Cute. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to add also some nice dried rosemary. About a good teaspoon or so worth of dried rosemary in there. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to add a bay leaf in. But I won't add the bay leaf quite yet. I'm going to add that once I add the stock. Okay, so my stock is going to go in now. My nice beautiful homemade stock from my friend Jane. This is the nice part. People are sort of sharing so many things with each other, and I think that's really wonderful. Right now. I know everybody's just trying to do their part. So that was about 2 cups of stock. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this as well. So come on over here to the sink. I'll grab some water. These mason jars are about 2 cups, so I'll add 2 cups of stock and I'll add 2 cups of water because it is nice and rich, that stock. And we're going to bring that up to a boil. And we're just going to let that all simmer together. It's going to be about 20 minutes for it to simmer. So the last thing I want to show you for the soup is the lemon. Okay, so we have a lemon here. And I have a tool called a microplane zester. And this is how I like to zest my lemon. So rather than holding a lemon this way and zesting like this very first layer is where all the really great flavor is. So I hold the lemon in my hand. The microplane zester has a nice channel, so all I have to do is drag the microplane zester over the top of the lemon. One good hard drag, and I get everything off of it that I could possibly need. I'm going to save the lemon zest for the end of the soup because I don't want to put it in too early because it will get a little too bitter if I put it in right away. But I am going to put the lemon juice in, but you always want to make sure that you zest first before you get the juice in. Okay, all those good. I want all the zest off of this. Even if you use lemon zest and if you use lemon zest but you don't need the juice, always make sure to juice the lemon afterwards because when the lemon doesn't have its zest on the outside, it will go very soft very quickly. So you always want to make sure that you can just juice it, you can put it into a jar, and it's safe that way. All right, I'm going to grab my little lemon juicer. This is a lemon juicer I have had for over, I don't know, almost 40 years. Hard to believe. Anyways, it's always still works for me, so that's the one I have. Sometimes I don't have all the things that I have in my home kitchen that I have in my Relish kitchen. This is one of those things, but I still love my zester, my juicer, I mean. Okay, so I'll juice this lemon. Oops. Okay, there we go. Got all the juice out of the lemon. This has got just a great burst of flavor too, so it's going to add really great flavor to this soup. Okay, so I've got my soup coming up to a boil here shortly. I'm going to just season it up with some salt, a little bit of kosher salt. You know I love to use kosher salt. Right on. Okay. I'll put a little bit of pepper in. I have some ground pepper because I've been doing some recipe testing, so I've got some ground pepper already here, so I'll just add that in as well. Okay, and I'm going to add that lemon juice into this soup. I might add a little bit more lemon juice later on when I taste it, but for now, that is all that we're going to, oh, I forgot the bay leaf. Don't want to forget the bay leaf. I'm going to add the bay leaf in here, and this soup is going to cook for about 25 to 30 minutes, and once it's simmered, I'm going to taste it, and I'm going to puree it, but we could also eat it without. So I'll come back just at the end and show you, because you don't need to sit here for the next 20 minutes and wait for the soup to cook, but I will come back and show you when we're done. Okay, I'm ready to blend. The soup is cooked and I'm just going to puree it, and so we're going to make a bit of a noise here. Okay, it's done. All right. All right, I'm going to put the soup back in the pot. So we've got this nice sort of a kind of a yellowy colored soup. Okay, I'm going to add, remember I ground up that lemon zest. So I'm going to add the lemon zest in here. I grated that lemon zest, I guess I should say. All right, and that is our lemony lentil soup. So Recipes on the blog. It's on our website, relishcookingstudio.com. And if you have any questions, post them to us in Instagram and I'll be happy to answer you back. Bye guys, see you soon.